Hallo, mein Name ist Julian. Ich bin Kajakfahrer und ich stehe hier am Raundalen Fluss in Voss, Norwegen. Mein Sommer-Challenge ist, die 33 Kilometer von dem schwierigsten Wildwasser in Europa in einem Tag zu befahren. Mal schauen, ob wir es schaffen.
The water, wild and impetuous, in Norway at the Mecca of kayaking. Voss, 33 kilometers of extreme white water. Julian wants to do the run in one day, conquer waterfalls and dangerous rapids.
Da muss ich die Linie perfekt haben, sonst ist die Challenge over.
It's a bad sign.
The Raundalen River demands the utmost of the adventurers.
Oh, weird. Shit. Fucking hell.
Can they rise to the challenge? It's the day of the challenge, 6:45 a.m.
Heute ist es soweit. Der Tag ist angekommen. Die Challenge.
Close to the starting point, 9 a.m. Julian Stocker and his best friend Dag Sandvik are ready. They'll do the challenge together. During the final preparations, a certain tension is in the air.
Langsam in der Zone, wo man ein bisschen fokussiert wird. Also ein grosses Gefühl, dass ich herkommen lasse.
Ja. Det går nok greit, men den klump her.
Over the next 8 to 12 hours, they'll need a lot of energy.
Schmeckt wie Katzenfutter.
They'll burn around 10,000 calories.
Og nå den mest kjente sjokoladen for nordmenn som reiser på tur. Helt sant. Jeg tuller ikke.
Handy für einen Notfall, falls etwas passiert. Dass wir der Ambulanz zum Beispiel sagen können, wo wir sind und das herfahren können. Ah. Es ist schon warm.
The weather conditions seem perfect, and so does the water level of the ice-cold river. This white water will demand everything from them, and yet they remain optimistic.
You have to be paddling for 6.5 hours. Maybe, probably more, but 6.5 hours. You probably have to smile for 4.5 of them. Otherwise, we'll
Not have much fun.
burn out.
Julian and Doug plan to be on the extremely difficult white water for 7 hours. But soon it will turn out that they had misjudged the conditions and the time.
Julian.
4 days earlier, the situation is still quite relaxed.
This is my friend Dag. Say your Swiss-German phrase I taught you.
Ah, ja. Willst du knutschen?
Willst du knutschen? Habe ich ihm beigebracht. And the other one? Heb doch.
Heb doch Schnurren zu.
Heb doch die Schnorren zu.
Julian and Doug have known each other for years and run a kayak school together. This is the center of their lives.
Julian, it's mostly it's very nice to work with Julian. He's a nice guy and he's a very dedicated kayak instructor.
Julian lives quite unconventionally, but he doesn't seem to lack anything.
Das ist mein Zuhause. Das ist meine Wohnung, mein Haus. Hat ein Bett drin, ein Büchergestell, Kleidergestell und Zahnbürste und so.
A day without being on the river is a lost day. For him, the water is the best place to wake up.
Bis später.
Julian Stocker has been spending his summers in Norway for 4 years. He's 26 and kayaking is his life.
Ich habe angefangen Kayak zu fahren, als ich 14 war. Und ich habe meinen Bruder fahren und einen Kollegen von meinem Bruder sind Kayak gefahren. Sind so einen Wettkampf, bin ich ihn abholen und habe gesagt, oh, das ist schön. Und an dem Punkt, wo ich den Wettkampf gesehen habe, habe ich gesagt, ja gut, das will ich machen. Das will ich machen. Ich will Kayak-Profi werden.
Of course, he's already the pro he always wanted to be. Back at the challenge, Julian and Dag are passing the first difficulties. They're on the way to the nosebreaker in the first section. They still have a lot of power, are having fun pure whitewater rafting, and they manage the first difficulties with skill and passion. The concentration is high, the equipment is being strained.
Both are okay, I guess.
A first multi-stepped waterfall. But here it happens, hardly visible, Julian's first mishap.
Ein kleiner Wasserfall mehr oder weniger, als ich flach gelandet bin, hat es die Wirbelsäule zusammengedrückt, gespürt es ein bisschen im Hals.
Will the pain bother him along the way? The adventure goes on in shallow waters. They progress slowly.
Extremely shallow. Many rocks.
And the kayakers lose time. This is also mentally challenging.
Es nervt einem richtig mit der Zeit, wenn man da immer auf den hohen Stein rumrutscht.
But then the river gets wild again. Concentration is required. After 2.5 hours, they've already lost strength and still have a long way to go. The first 10 kilometers have added a 1-hour delay, but they're not thinking about timing. Right now, all their skills are put to the test.
It's a difficult line and it's pretty high, so yeah.
Nosebreaker. The waterfall is about 10 meters high. The pros have great respect for it.
Ja, da muss ich die Linie perfekt haben, sonst ist die Challenge over heute.
Should they bypass the tricky section or go on and risk endangering the whole project? Three days earlier, Julian on the Raundalen River. You can hear the sound of the water from afar. For a long time, Julian has wanted to face the challenge of riding the river in one stretch. Whitewater fascinates him.
Da bin ich also auch schon rausgeschwommen, weil ich den Wasserfall falsch bin und am Rücklauf hängen geblieben und dann hat es mich gekehrt und so unter Wasser und vermuselt unter Wasser. Da geht es ziemlich zügig drauf.
Wie kalt ist denn das Wasser?
Ich weiß nicht, vielleicht 10 Grad, 10, 12 Grad so ungefähr.
Whitewater rafting, being on the water, mastering challenges. Kayaking has changed Julian's life.
Ich war immer ein spezieller, in eine Spezialschule gegangen und ich hatte Lernschwierigkeiten. Und Kajakfahren ist definitiv ein Weg, ein Ventil quasi auszubrechen, sein eigener Kapitän zu sein. Da merkt man eigentlich, Endlich mache ich etwas, was eigentlich nicht jeder Mann macht. Und Selbstvertrauen baut sich auf, hat sich definitiv das Leben übernommen. Die Blättchen rauslassen. Yes.
Julian is at the nosebreaker, where later he will have to make a difficult decision. Now, though, there's no pressure.
Da ist die Einfahrt. Und jetzt, wenn man mit einem Plastikflötchen durch den Kanal durchschießt, kommen von der Seite so ein bisschen wie Turbulenzen. Viel geht einem durch den Kopf, das stimmt schon. Nicht Angst oder so, aber man hat immer ein bisschen, das ist halt das Ungewisse. Ja, und vom Ungewissen hat man Angst. Und das ist halt der natürliche Instinkt quasi.
These masses of water are terrifying, but to Julian, fascinating.
Ich glaube, ich gehe durchs Leben generell mit einer Einstellung von ja, probieren wir. Try and error, try and error. Ist vielleicht ein bisschen ab der Norm, aber ist okay.
Back to the challenge. Julian has decided he's going.
It's very hard to predict how you come up.
Tension is in the air. Nothing must go wrong. He has a perfect line. The 10-meter fall into the depths. Where's Julian? The severe impact has caused the kayak to flip over. But then he surfaces. He gives Dag a sign. Everything's fine. The fall was successful. What a relief.
So now Julian had a good line down this waterfall. And I'm gonna try to be as good.
The Norwegian follows Julian. He has everything under control. But the landing pushes him away as well. They pass the first test. Both are overjoyed.
Well done.
Fuck yeah! That was good.
Ja, das ist super. Das Gefühl von Adrenalin. So komplette Erfüllung eigentlich momentan. Ziemlich entspannt. Das kann dir einen Lastwagen überfahren. Du bist ziemlich glücklich sterben. Voll geil. Ja, ist voll geil. Fühlt sich gut an.
But there's not much time to celebrate. They still have a long way to go and need to catch up by the lunch break. Success motivates. This is what makes whitewater rafting fun. They move quickly and power on. They have a good feeling.
Read and Run, Wildwasser gefahren, ziemlich lustig gewesen. Viel auf Sicht können fahren, das heisst, dass wir ziemlich vorwärts gekommen sind.
But Julian's wrong. They're only halfway along the route. They haven't moved forward as expected. The hours on the rapids consume time and energy. The optimism has turned into disillusion. Mistakes slip in. There are hardly any breaks in which to take a breath.
It's 12 o'clock now.
They start to realize that they've underestimated the adventure. Hour after hour, they paddle at top gear. Their exhaustion is obvious. With a 2-hour delay, they arrive at the picnic spot at 3 p.m. The exertion is written all over their faces. They've been underway for 6 hours. By this time, they had wanted to be close to their destination. The mood is gloomy.
Die Stimmung ist nicht so gut in der letzten halben Stunde. Letzte Viertelstunde. Haben wir ein bisschen mehr gerollt als sonst. Das ist sicher ein Zeichen, dass unsere Konzentration ein bisschen darunter gelitten hat.
A lack of concentration causes mistakes. The small but painful oversight of a rock leaves its traces. The injuries are minor. However, there's still a long way to go.
Die Strecke kann man in- und auswendig eigentlich. Und vielleicht ist es dann auch darum, dass man einfach ein bisschen weniger Effort rein tut. Ich weiss nicht.
For the first time, they have doubts. Is the effort worth it? Has the venture become too dangerous with their fatigue?
But you tried to finish.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's no question about that.
We're gonna finish. But we need to speed up as hell right now. And then with the next section we can do it super fast. Because we need some time for the last canyon.
Yeah.
I'm saving this one for later. It's taking a lot of mental strength. So we're gonna use it. And we're gonna make use of it later.
The will is there, but 12 kilometers of tough white water are waiting for them. The happy ending has receded into the distance. Two days before the challenge, during the preparations, the mood is confident.
Dann habe ich Hosen. Und dann habe ich da eine Jacke, dann habe ich einen Latexabschluss am Hals und an der Hand und kaum Wasser rein. Dann ganz wichtig ist, wenn du mit Seil und Wasser zusammen schaffst, dass du das Messer hast und mit einer Hand kannst öffnen. Also. Wenn jemand jetzt zum Beispiel an einem Seil hängt im Wasser rein, dann muss man das schnell durchschneiden. Steckpaddel, falls mein Paddel verbricht, dann haben wir das hinten im Boot drin, dann haben wir das zusammenzustellen. Dann können wir ein Paddel daraus machen und dann zum Beispiel zu der Schlucht sicher rausfahren. Weil das Paddel, wenn dir das zerbricht, ist das wie wenn dir das quasi, wie sagt man, der Lenker am Velo verbricht. Das hätten wir gar nicht zusammenstellen müssen. Ja. Ja. So.
They're constantly thinking about the challenge. For the umpteenth time, they're studying the map, making, with retrospect, overly optimistic calculations. But already now, they're aware of one crucial factor.
That's a big concern of losing focus or concentration.
It's probably the biggest deal because you paddle on this section and then after 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, who knows, we're gonna enter
It's most difficult.
the only part of the river that's really dangerous actually.
The big day comes closer. On his way to the final training, Julian tries to clear his head.
Inshil, Hans Persmal, wat denkt u mijn Summer Challenge 2014? Ik paddel heel Raundalen 11 in 1 dag. It's not too talkative.
3 times a week, Julian and Dag torture themselves. The training needs to be tough and kayak specific. Dag has the lead.
And one more on the other side.
No wonder, he was a professional skier in the Norwegian national team.
We don't have very conventional training methods.
Suffering for a great goal.
He's struggling.
The kayak instructors know that this preparation is their only chance of success.
The main problem will probably be that we're gonna have to make a lot of decisions during the day. So we're gonna approach a lot of big rapids and big waterfalls where we have to choose whether we're gonna climb up and walk around it or paddle it.
Back to the challenge. Julian is walking. What happened? It's 5 p.m. They had planned on already being at their destination by this time. The reason for the delay, an unavoidable detour, and a 120-meter difference in altitude is no less strenuous.
25 Kilo so das Boot mit allem Material drin. Und wenn ich das Boot auf einer Schulter trage, dann beugt es mir die Wirbelsäule ziemlich durch.
But where's Dag? Julian is the better walker and seems to have recharged his batteries.
I'm getting more and more concerned about the very last rapid, if we were going to be able to run it at all.
Dag needs some motivation.
That's why I'm eating my best friend here.
Julian goes full throttle. He knows they have around 5 hours of daylight left. The challenge demands the utmost of them, struggling when their whole body's burning. And now the route is getting scrubby.
Ja, da geht schon volles Loch ab. Du musst wirklich konzentrieren.
Julian and Dag are pushed to their limits. Thinking and speaking become difficult.
Wirklich die Linie bereichen und aufeinander wirklich umso mehr aufpassen. Aufeinander mehr aufpassen, umso mehr. Und, ja. Ist aber schon so, wenn du nicht mehr so machst, dann leidet die Sicherheit darunter, oder?
Palmer Voss, 3 hours later. It's 8 p.m. This rapid is today's key position. They've been on the go for 11 hours. They had planned 7 and are exhausted.
Müde.
How will they manage to pass this key position unharmed in this condition?
Nu kommer nyckelställa.
Det gör det. Vi får se. Ganske tom for krefter. Det var mye oppi juvet der som var vanskelig.
Julian, after having taken a first look.
I realise, oh shit, fucking hell, I don't have the power.
Will the challenge be over at this point? After all their suffering? One day earlier, they visit the key position. They're impressed by the amount of water. Lost in thoughts. Is it doable?
Der ganze Stromschnelle ist aufgeteilt in 3 verschiedene Rapids. Und da hat es 2 Linien, wo wir da am linken Seite am Wasserfall runterfallen oder über die Steine rutschen. Da kommt der ganze Fluss konzentriert durch die mittlere Stromschnelle. Und das ist eigentlich der Crux-Move, weil da willst du eine schöne Linie haben, damit man da schön über den 5 Meter Wasserfall drauf kann.
Palmer Voss is impressive. What scenery! The pros become nervous.
The heart rate is going up just a little bit, just by looking at it.
Thousands of liters crash down per second.
Doch, man kann sich den Kopf anschlagen oder sich etwas brechen. Wenn man es vermasselt.
It's a bit scary. Yeah, it is.
Back to the challenge. Julian doesn't want to give up and seems willing to take the risk despite his exhaustion.
I'm just going to paddle, yeah. You paddle? Yeah.
Will this go well? Julian successfully masters the first challenge, but the most difficult part is still to come. There's no room for mistakes. Julian's stocker hits the ideal line and elegantly conquers the waterfall. What a relief when Dag follows him shortly afterwards. The last kilometers are a formality. Right before the river mouth, it's clear they've succeeded. Just before nightfall and after 12.5 hours of suffering, struggling and worrying, they've reached their destination in Voss.
Jetzt muss ich keinen einzigen Paddelschlag mehr machen. Ha! Weil ich es geschafft habe. Oh no. Oh man, thanks for the trip.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was good. Es war nicht ein einfacher Tag. Viel Paddeln. Ich hatte meine Auf und Ab. Ich habe immer wieder mit irgendwelchen Schmerzen kämpfen. Aber alles in allem habe ich es geschafft. Ich bin sehr glücklich darüber.
Two friends have fulfilled their dream, not least thanks to their mutual support.